Sure, I'm Jess Brunetto.
Hello and welcome to Box Angeles with me. I'm your host, Mike Elder. Thank you so much for listening to the show. It means a lot to me. Thank you. Truly. I appreciate you. And to everybody that's been coming up to me at auditions lately, by the way. I see you. I appreciate you. Thanks for saying hi. And if you see me at an audition or a callback or in Los Feliz, come up and say hi. I really appreciate it. Okay, really quick housekeeping. Apple Podcasts. If you are listening in Apple Podcasts, please leave a rating and a review. That's it. I'm just going to ask once. I'm going to wait a second while you go in there and do that. Great. Thank you. I appreciate that. We've got a different episode today. We've had a lot of different episodes lately. Things that are more niche in the industry, but I am fascinated by. This one was no different from the previous one we had with Jonathan Runyon, session director. This is editor/director Jess Brunetto. Jess is a fabulous editor on some of my favorite shows. As somebody who edits all these clips for YouTube and social media, and I'm working on my short film, this was a real treat for me because I really got into the minutia of editing. But she's worked on shows like Broad City, Man Seeking Woman, Hacks. She directed an episode of Hacks. She is such a treasure trove of information. I love this conversation. We talked about what her rituals are around editing, how it's like a hermit lifestyle, how it's very ethereal, what her process is when she edits an episode, what her like step-by-step process is. Does she try to get a rough cut? Does she go scene by scene? Really interesting stuff. We talked about her pivot to directing, which she's trying to do more of. She's trying to get out of the editing bay. Her goal was always to be a director. So we talked about how she has made it a point to ask and put it out there that she wants to be a director. Really good conversation. Jess couldn't have been sweeter. I had a great time with her. So I think you're going to really dig this episode. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I give you Jessica Brunetto. Jess, thanks for coming down.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Of course. I'm so excited to talk to you. Do you want to know why?
Tell me, please.
I just shot my first short film.
Oh, awesome.
I've been editing it for the last week.
Okay.
And I have thoughts.
Okay, totally.
Editing is a monster.
It's really hard.
And you are an editor by trade. You've edited a ton of amazing shows. Shows I love, Broad City, Man Seeking Woman, all this great stuff. Hacks. Why did you choose editing? In what world did you think, let me sit in the dark and cut this thing up and be so, you just have to be so particular and it's a little mind numbing and you're all by yourself.
Yeah, that's a good question. I definitely have, I shouldn't say regret for my life choices, but I've definitely, in recent years, especially with COVID, have pivoted away from wanting to be in a dark room and, really want to be more in the action on set with people every day, feeling that kind of energy. But, honestly, it was just something I gravitated towards because, I went to a directing program at SUNY Purchase and I really liked writing, but I was just really good at editing. And I was really amazed by how you could change things and how much of your director brain you almost needed in the edit room. And that I felt like I was learning so much more about performances and storytelling and shot composition from the edit room versus being on set and being a PA and, that sort of position. So for me, it was almost like reverse engineering my directing career and path.
I love that. And do you know Ryan Case?
I do.
I had Ryan Case on years ago and she did the same thing. She was an editor and she was like, this is my way into directing. So I love, I was going to ask you about that. I love that you sort of thought through that and had the foresight to realize that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit too just circumstance. I don't know many people who can get out of film school and get directing work. So it was also a way to get in the door and essentially see how the sausage is made and see, I've had the privilege of looking at all these amazing directors' dailies and you kind of know, you get a sense of what works and what doesn't. and you kind of have that inside knowledge that no one else really has.
Yeah.
So in a way, it was kind of like, another, like almost like a master's degree in filmmaking, but through experience.
Yeah. And now you can't turn that off because right before this, you were like, do we need to clap the clapper to make this auto line up? And you're like editing the podcast for me before we even started. I loved it.
Hey, man, I just want to make it as easy as possible. No one needs to suffer.
I know. It can be so much work. Wait, quickly, though, you got a BFA in directing?
Yeah.
I didn't know you could get a BFA in directing. I thought it was acting only. I'm an idiot. Am I an idiot?
No.
Is that a common thing?
I don't know. I'd have to check all the programs, but ours was a BFA program.
Okay, so,
and it was a conservatory. It's like a conservatory system.
Right, even more to me, that means acting.
Yeah. Well, we were in a conservatory that was like film and acting conservatory at SUNY Purchase, and they had music and visual arts and dance.
That's very cool. So I assume you moved to New York after that, and then just like you knew you were good at editing. How does one get editing job? Like, how do you start as like an assistant editor? I don't know this career ladder at all.
No, it's fine. Let's see. I started. Well, it's interesting. My first jobs were during film school during the summers. I was working for the New York Film Academy.
Oh, cool.
And I was a teacher's assistant in the Final Cut Pro editing room. So we were basically teacher's assistants / RAs because the kids were living on campus. We were at Princeton. So at night, we'd make sure people weren't drinking. And during the day, we would be in the edit rooms with kids, like trying to teach them as fast as possible, like how to be editing, how to be making their projects that they filmed that week and putting them together. It was a lot to have like 20 some kids who never touched Final Cut Pro.
Yeah. There's definitely a learning curve on all that stuff.
Yeah, I think it would be a little easier now because that was sort of at the tail end of like people not really having access to these things on a regular basis, where now I think the concepts would be much easier to translate because everyone has a phone and they have, they're making videos at home.
Yeah.
So it was just like throwing yourself in the fire. From there, out of college, I started as it's called the logger. That was for reality TV, and essentially I was just watching camera tapes and transcribing real time.
Okay.
So I spent a lot of time doing that, and that was so the story producers and the editors could like do paper edits.
Okay.
And
you weren't logging shots? You weren't like saying this is shot as
no, that's more assistant editor work. This was like literally really going to date myself here, putting a VHS tape in a VCR, hitting play, and there was time code, but like you're just essentially doing a quick transcription. Now, obviously, we have AI. But that, I think every position I've been able to get, I've always tried to ask for more or ask for opportunities. So I basically befriended the assistant editor, and some weekends when they were working, they're like, why don't you come in? We'll put you in front of an Avid and we'll give you a couple things to do.
Yeah. That's very cool.
And and I had taken an Avid course at SUNY Purchase, but again, it's just like you really got to do it to learn it. And I don't think that in college I was prepared for the the naming systems you use in TV today, how you really organize a massive amount of footage versus just making like a 10-minute short.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're basically the latter is logger, assistant editor.
Yeah. And post PA. I was a post PA after a logger, which just meant I started to help pick out music. It's a little bit of like getting lunch orders for the editors. It was a lot of, again, dating myself here, picking up transfer tapes from Sony Digital and walking them back to the office. A lot of trips, a lot of manual labor.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter the weather, just dragging tapes from the west side to the east side and back, basically.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about you get Broad City. Did you do the entire run of Broad City, or did you come in later?
I came in later on seasons 4 and 5.
Okay, so you did seasons 4 and 5. Are you the only editor on the show then?
No.
How many editors are on a show like that?
I want to say per season there might have been 4, and there's 10 episodes, so they kind of just divide them up according to what works with the shooting schedule and also everyone's personal schedule, because some people already have shows lined up, some people don't, so it's really just the producers make it work kind of thing.
Got it. So it's similar to directing. They bring in almost a different editor every episode.
Yeah, you get a little more.
You rotate.
Yeah, and I think season 1 there were only 2 editors. Might have been that way season 2 as well. I'm not totally sure. But after a while, I think people realize we can get more done if we have more people to bounce back and forth to.
Yeah. That's really interesting. So then when you come into something like that, do you just binge all of Broad City?
Yes.
If you weren't already, and
Yes.
just get a sense of the show and
Absolutely.
how they already are editing it and cutting it and all that?
Yeah. I mean, my whole approach is I absorb the material if there's material that exists. Sometimes it's only scripts, but or just scripts and a pilot. And I just try to come in and be a chameleon and blend in and offer my own take on things, but playing within the same rules and dynamic and field that everyone else is already existing in.
Yeah. So I'm going to have a lot of just nuanced questions.
Yeah,
So I'm
no.
curious. Are you guys, do you have there's a writer's room. Is there an editor's room theoretically? Or are you guys each editor at your own house just cutting this on your own?
Well, now after COVID or during COVID, we're all mainly at our own houses.
Okay.
We do try to have Zoom check-in meetings, and we are all connected to the same hard drives. So in theory, I could watch another editor's episode, or if someone is what do you think of this scene? But it's a lot less communal. I don't know, sometimes it's I do miss the days of going in and sitting on someone else's couch and just playing a scene for me, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Or just honestly, just playing the funny things that happen before and after takes, all the bloopers, it's certainly, because I work in comedy, it's a pretty lighthearted environment, and there's a lot of bonding in those ways.
So who do you report to then? Is it the showrunner theoretically?
Yeah. Your main creative boss is the showrunner and the creators of the show.
Okay.
Sometimes if the showrunner is not the creator of the show, they're not always in the edit room. It's mainly the creators. But a lot of times the creators are the showrunners as well.
Yeah.
And we do have post-producers who basically manage our department.
Got it.
And set up all the vendors to do visual effects and the sound mixing and color. And they help us. They make the schedules. They help us keep on schedule.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
So when they give you whatever, season 5, episode 2, they're like, Jess, this is yours. Do you meet with the creator or the writer before you jump in, or do you just jump in, cut 22 and give it to them and take notes?
You just jump in.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that scary? I feel
a little bit.
Yeah.
And the thing is there are, script supervisors on set, but, no disrespect to script supervisors, but
hot take coming.
Sometimes their notes are so helpful. You're oh my God, I know exactly what they want. And sometimes it's full guesswork. And I do trust my gut more than I trust notes that I'm given, unless they're specifically from the director or creators. Just because there's so many times where people are like, oh my God, this thing happened on set. It was amazing. And then you're like in the room being like, well, that's not the best one.
Yeah.
So
that is interesting.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed that when I on my short film editing, it's like we all love this take, and then I watch it, it's like, oh, it's not that great.
Yeah, it's something about getting caught up in the moment and the energy on set, which is lovely. But also, it's when you're in the edit room, you're like looking at the big picture more than just tiny little takes.
So you cut a 22-minute thing. How first off, how long does that take?
We usually get so say it's a 5-day shoot. We usually get 7 days to put it together. So you get like 2 more days than what they have to shoot.
Is it 8-hour days, or are we talking like 10-hour days, or are we talking like 12-hour days?
Depends on the show.
Okay.
Some are 8, some are 12.
Okay. So then you cut the 22. How many back and forths does it usually take? Do you ever nail it on the first one? I assume no. Everyone wants to put their hand in the cookie jar, right?
Yeah, basically. But you'd be surprised. There's like a few scenes here and there that like barely get touched. But that's not, I would say that's never the goal for me because it's just like the more time you spend and put into it, like you want it to get better.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, a writer shouldn't shoot their first draft. Like, It's kind of like that concept.
Yeah, it's collaborative.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in those 7 days, do you have a first cut done by like day 2 and then, or day 4, and then day 5, 6, 7 is going back and forth basically? Is it something like that?
Well, if they're shooting 5 days, I still have to wait till the last day to get the last pieces of
so you're editing it as it goes?
Correct.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, that's most of the time that's how it's structured.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So yeah, I really just try to keep up with the dailies.
Smart, yeah.
So I have enough time.
That'd be so much easier in retrospect.
Yeah. And sometimes it's really hard, but I try to give myself as much time on the back end as possible, because the other thing that's happening is you need to be sound designing and putting in some music.
Yep.
And personally, I like to do more than one pass on my scenes, because it's just like,
I would hope so, yeah.
Until you see that full episode, you're a little bit flying blind.
Yeah, I would think, yeah. Especially for callbacks and things like that.
Yeah, and they shoot out of order, or even improv that somehow gets like it could be a thing where they do similar improv in a couple scenes, or they do an improv line that like later they put like you said, a callback or something in a later scene they're shooting. So that to me, I think, is like another thing I need to be tweaking.
Yeah.
But my editor's cut is like working towards the director's vision more than the showrunner.
Yeah.
And you just like hope and pray the director and the showrunner are on the same page.
Yeah. But if they're not, that's not on you necessarily.
Yeah,
it just stresses you out a little bit, probably.
And sometimes I have like secret versions of scenes. Like the director wanted to do this so bad that here's that, but like here's a version that I think is more in line with what I know about your tastes and what you like to do.
Yeah. Does continuity issues, are you like hyper aware of those? Like, where do you fall on that? Like, would you rather have a good take over continuity, or do you want continuity with a slightly less good take?
No, definitely good take.
Really?
Wins. And audio is more important than picture as well.
Oh, interesting.
In my mind.
Okay.
Because I think that like the audience is more forgiving if like the picture is a little off, if the audio and the timing is singing, basically. So, and that's something that's also probably something from the fact that I started in documentary and nonfiction. So a lot of times you were doing what they call like a radio edit to tell the story, and then like doing the picture second.
Yeah.
And that could be with like verite production stuff, or that could be with archival. It could be with graphics. It could be with pictures, like depending on what you're making.
Right. Yeah, for our short film, it's about me and my buddy Jason, and God love him, but Jason, they did something different with their hand in every fucking take, I swear to God.
Yeah.
I'm like, Jason, no, you have a perfect read, but your hand's here and then it's not here, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, well, you know.
I mean, we were a scrappy group. We obviously didn't have, a script supervisor or anything like that, but yeah, watching that back, I'm like, no.
But, that's something of like, more emerging actors aren't as perfect with their body movements. But a lot of times too, like if I'm like, I love the audio of this take, can I find picture that that matches better, that it still looks in sync?
Yeah.
So that's a hot tip.
Yeah, for sure. Right. Yeah. I love hot tips, by the way.
Yeah,
If you think of any, give me more.
Sure, no
By the
problem.
way, I watched your short film Sisters, which was delightful.
Thank you.
I love Mary. Mary's a past guest of the podcast. You had such a fun montage in there. Do you enjoy doing montages? Is that, to me, that's just more work. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Yeah.
you're putting like side cuts of different scenes and stuff. Is that something like you love doing? That montage just stuck out to me when they were dancing in the dresses and stuff.
I mean, for me, it's just like energy, like of the characters, and in terms of like doing split screens, that was sort of pre-planned, but once we got into post, and I was like, oh, all these beats full screen are like making it too slow, then we just tried to maximize what we shot with them by incorporating more split screens to get through all the beats faster and to keep the momentum going. To me, it's like we're making entertainment. So even in, a hard drama, like, I mean, my favorite montage, almost one of my favorite montages of all time, is in Gone Girl. When she like basically fakes her death and all the blood.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. It has like VO music and then like the whole plot line of how she plans her escape.
Sure.
So, it's just fun.
Well, it's interesting, definitely, yeah. But it's interesting to me because it's like, I wrestle in my head, and this dates back to even like, I can specifically remember watching American Idol back in the late aughts, you know what I mean, when it was the huge show. And I would watch those early episodes where they're going to the cities, right?
Uh-huh.
And so it's a lot of like crowd shots and quick cuts and stuff. And I just couldn't help but think about the editor because like the editor is putting in so much work, and I say this with the utmost respect. It's like so much work for something that is so ethereal and so quick and so like nobody's gonna rewatch those early episodes of American Idol. People are gonna watch it once and be done. And it's like they're putting in so much work into this little fast cuts montage of we're in Dallas, Ryan Seacrest, Dallas, and it's like bing bong, bing bong, and I'm like, oh, you're doing so much for so. I mean, millions of people watch at the time, but they're not rewatching it and enjoying, and it's just so passing and fleeting. And I just couldn't help but empathize. I specifically remember that. And it's like in those montages, you're cut. You're taking so much footage to make it so quick. I don't know.
Yeah, but, again, too, like another good analogy is like it's a roller coaster ride where you're building tension and release. So like on a roller coaster, the slowest part is like going all the way up to the peak before it drops you down. So it's like you have to just know in your gut like what you're making, the tone of it, and like where it feels like it's dragging and where it works to not be cutting and where it works to be cutting.
Yeah. But I guess to me, it's like the tediousness of it. Like,
oh, yeah.
It just feels like it's like, do I really need to do a couple extra cuts here? It's 3 seconds. Like,
yeah.
Do you, to that point, like, do you start, like, how do you approach a scene? Like, do you start, because this is what I found I'm doing. And I've never really edited anything longer than a couple minutes, right?
Okay.
Up until this point. I find I take a good, like, one wide that I like. we take that good cut, and then I go through that and start filling in the things I don't dislike. Do you know what I mean? Like I start with a 2-minute wide, and then I start putting. Is that a good strategy or is that a bad strategy? Do you go line by line?
I do go line by line.
Okay.
I don't mean to hurt your feelings, but I usually ignore the wides.
Really?
Because I think for me, things are more interesting when you maybe don't start a scene on a wide or end a scene on a wide, but like you find a more interesting place in the middle to cut to it. And that's usually a turning point in the scene.
Yeah.
But that's just like my approach of like how to make it work less on a technical level and more on like a performance creative story level.
Well, did you study improv? I mean, that's an improv thing. Start the scene in the middle. They always tell you that. Don't start with, hello, how's your day going? They say, why did you do that? You know what I mean? Start in the middle of the scene.
I just took my first improv class.
Get out of town, really?
Yeah.
You are around so many improvisers. I would have assumed you took at least one in New York.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I tried to sign up so many times, and I'm like, I'm working, and I can't. And then, or they'd fill up so quick. They were like, I don't know. It felt way more competitive in New York of how quickly they filled up.
Sure.
I could never make it work. But yeah, I've had this like inner guilt of like, I work in so much improv.
What class did you take?
I just finished the Improv 101 at UCB.
Great. What'd you think?
It was really fun. Honestly, like I just, I'm starting to do more things where I put myself in the actor's position, but it was just like fun to like run scenes, whether I'm in them or not, and just like see what works, see what doesn't work, kind of thing. I've been doing some stunt classes too.
Oh, very cool.
So,
after my short film, I was saying I want to take a lighting class. Like lighting is, I don't know shit about lighting, and I would love to learn some stuff.
Yeah, totally. But a lot of it too is like, it just depends what your approach is. Cause like a lighting class, you could find one that's super technical, or you could find one that's all about like painting the scene with light for the tone of what you're making. And that
sounds like 201.
Yeah. But like that's really what you want to find.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
unless you want to be a gaffer.
No, I don't want to be a gaffer, but I want, like even this, I could light this better. I don't know how. It's a lot of work, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think lighting is fascinating, but even improv, back to your improv, like I think improv would be amazing for an editor. Not only do I think it's amazing for a human, I think it's just good for all humans to take it. I think it improves your communication and all that. But like for an editor like you, I think that would just be really enlightening to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I haven't gone to improv shows in the past. But yeah, I've never really done it myself. I'm trying to get out of the hermit lifestyle, like I said earlier.
I appreciate that. I like that. Speaking of the hermit lifestyle, how often does, like, when you make something, do you have somebody over your shoulder? Do you ever have like I guess, have you done many film? I feel like you haven't done a lot of films. Would a director sit over your shoulder on a film?
Sure. You're with them almost every day, except for when you're putting the film together, which is usually while they're shooting.
Oh, okay.
And then, but I really believe that, like, as much as I love working with someone and collaborating with someone, some of my best work is when they leave me alone. And when I get to try stuff that I know they wouldn't let me try in person if they were there.
You can play. Yeah.
I can play. And then they'll come back and be like, literally say, I never would have let you do this, but it really works. Yeah. And let's keep it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's really rewarding.
Yeah, those are the rewarding moments. That is kind of, again, like going back to my documentary brain. Like, I don't know, there's no rules. Like, I'll take shots from before you said action, if it works and I need it.
Yeah, I found I did that in my short film. Literally, that's one of my biggest regrets is we don't have a lot of just sort of fluff, if you will, like us walking around or us sitting around. And one scene we're like tired, and I literally took 3 different cuts where it says action in it, but it's like perfect of us looking tired like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, to your point, like, yeah.
The name of the game is make it work.
I love that. Back to your, wait, I want to go back to your hermit lifestyle though for a second.
Sure.
What is like, I always like romanticize writers, you know, like they sit down with a scotch and a cigarette. Do you have any like rituals around your editing? Do you have to like, do you have a proper desk? Do you have like a space you got to be in? Do you have lights you got to have on? Do you have music playing? Anything like that?
I'm usually a no music person unless I'm just doing, say, I have to do some temp graphics and I don't need the audio. I do have a standing desk, which was acquired after years of backaches to improve my posture and live a better life.
Good for you.
I think walks are really important.
Oh, I love walks.
Our schedules are so tight, but I really try, like, if it's the end of the day and I know I'm just not being productive, I really try to stop working.
Yeah, you can't fight it. It just makes it worse.
Yeah, I just don't feel like I'm making the right decisions. And it's just better for me to, like, start fresh in the morning. I'm very much, like, get some great ideas in the shower kind of person. Mm-hmm. If I feel like if I've left the previous workday stuck, I don't know, it'll be the morning, I'll take a shower and I'll be like, oh my God, this is what I should do. So I believe in that kind of thing of like turning it off, stepping away. I try to meditate, try to just like take care of myself, exercise. I wasn't always as good at all these things, but it comes with age and discipline.
Yeah. I like that. And it's really true though. Like when you're not doing good work or you're not feeling it, it's, like I said, if you are like double down, it just makes it worse. It like exasperates it. You literally, same thing going to sleep. Like the other day, and I could not fall asleep. I was like, no, I gotta fall asleep. And it made it worse. And I was like, I just got to get up and read or do something else because it's not happening for me.
Yeah. And like, I don't know. I just don't like putting in a take to like finish the scene versus being like, no, I really want to find the best takes. And I really want to have the scene feel complete when I'm done with it.
I think I suck at editing. Literally, my goal this week was just to get a rough cut. I just wanted to start to finish so I could then smooth the edges. Because I was like, if I don't have it done, it's never going to get done. So I was like, let me get a rough cut done. And I was so excited. I'd finished it on Tuesday, I exported it. I'm like, all right, good. Now I can go in and smooth. But you're saying you like to really smooth it in as you're going?
A little both. It has to be a little of both.
Okay.
But in a way, your approach also works because it's like, they call it the vomit pass.
Right. It's a writing technique for sure. Get it done and then come back. Yeah.
But I guess my advice to you is just being like, just check everything or just try it a new way for fun. Like in this scene, I started on the wide and I'm living in the mediums. Like, what if I start on closes? Like just play with it.
Okay. Yeah. I have a friend coming over tonight he's definitely going to want to take a pass at it. So we'll probably do that tonight.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Or also prioritize the most important scenes because that will give you so much more information of what the rest of the film should be.
Okay. Yeah.
The footage does weirdly tell you what it wants to be.
Yeah. I like that.
Once you see what's working. Then it kind of has a ripple effect.
Economically, sorry to hard pivot. When you're how does it work? Are you on a contract with Broad City or are you getting paid per episode, I assume? Or
well, I'm part of a union.
There is a union. That was my next question.
There's an editors union, the Local 700. And it's the contracts are based on like budget and then weekly rates.
Okay, so you get a weekly rate essentially for an episode. And there's a minimum, obviously?
There's a minimum of what you should be making
What is that minimum?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know? Nice.
Because thankfully...
Haven't had the minimum in a while.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly why I don't know.
Nice. Okay, interesting. I didn't know there was a guild. Do you guys have meetups and stuff? Do you guys how big is that guild? How many members is that?
I could be wrong, but I swear I just saw maybe close to 10,000.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. There's meetups. There's a whole educational arm of it where you can take classes they offer. Got a pension for myself and some health care. Cool. Try to use that.
Can we talk about some technical stuff? What software do you use? And is it same per show? Can you use whatever you want on every show?
It's usually Avid.
Okay.
I've only worked in one show professionally in Premiere. But that's just because it's kind of the standard and it translates the easiest to color systems and to the final mix, like Pro Tools, because I think Pro Tools and Avid are owned by the same company.
Okay.
So they talk to each other really well.
Yeah.
But there are some shows that do Premiere. So if I have to do Premiere, I can do it.
Can you use a trackpad or do you have to use a mouse?
I use a Wacom tablet with a pen.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a monitor and you use a tablet down here with a pen. Really?
Yeah.
And you drag and pull with the pen?
Yeah, it's like a mouse but faster.
When did you start doing that? Is that an expertise thing? Like most people at your level do that? Or is it personal
It's like a personal preference.
Really? Cool.
I started doing it when I worked on Sicko in 2006. Mostly because all the editors were using them. I'm like, what's this cool thing? When you had to jump on their computer. That's what was always hooked up. So it was kind of just like a convenience thing.
I think of that as more like an animator thing.
It is. They are more made for animators, but they move around the screen so fast that I just got comfortable with it and my wrist never hurts. And so
if you had to use a mouse, could you do it?
Yeah, I know how to use a mouse.
Well, I mean,
it's just
it would throw you off. Like I'm saying, I cannot not use a track. If I use a trackpad to do anything, I'm a whiz in Excel and Google Sheets, but I cannot do it for shit with a trackpad.
Interesting.
I have to have a mouse wherever I'm at.
Oh no, I hate them.
Do you like trackpads?
I mean, on my laptop, that's about it.
Can't even do it. I need a touchscreen on my laptop. I can't trackpad for shit.
That's so funny.
I'm just wow, that's cool. What is that called? What is it called? A keyboard?
A Wacom tablet. They have different sizes.
What's that run? What's that run? What are you talking, $2,000?
No. I usually use the medium size one. I think they're like $300 or something. Okay. They last a long time.
That's very cool. I should look into that. I'm just picturing, when you say that, I literally pictured animators and Steve Jobs doing a presentation or whatever.
Oh yeah.
That's very cool.
I am doing a presentation always.
I love it. That's very funny. Do you you mentioned very early on, you come from, I forget how you phrase it, so I apologize, but old school or whatever. Do you have a opinion about where we're at now with content and how it's being, we had Vine 6 seconds and we got TikTok and stuff. Do you appreciate people that can edit that stuff? Do you begrudge it? Do you have an opinion about it?
I think, I don't begrudge it. I do. It would be really sad for me, in my opinion, though, if the next generation just has zero interest in long form. And right now, long form could be a 22-minute show. But I'm such a lover of movies that I don't mind things coexisting, but to get to totally erase this other beautiful art form and this complex level of storytelling would be just really sad for our culture, in my opinion.
Yeah. Do you have an appreciation for their ability to edit things that grab attention so quickly? Do you think your skill could translate to that?
I don't know. If I see another person snap at the camera, like put their hand in front of the camera and cut on that. It is
That is kind of hack.
irritating. Like, do something else. But of course, it's like impressive how many eyeballs people are getting. As long as we don't go full like idiocracy, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Because look, I also cut commercials, and there's something to
It's very similar, yeah.
Yeah, there's something to be said for like telling, and a lot of the commercials I do are really just short comedy scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something to be said of like how much information and how much story can I pack into 30 seconds. I don't know. It's like a fun challenge.
That's exactly it. Like, I cut so many of these. I'll cut this interview up 20 times and put 30-second clips out there of you talking. And the goal is to get eyeballs for more than 3 seconds, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they stay on it. And that is such a tricky thing, I think, or a very hard thing to do.
And what have you learned? I'm reversing that interview right now.
Honestly, what it is it's like a lot of movement, right? So I
Okay.
used to just have the summary. Like I'd say,
Okay.
Jess talked about, Premiere Pro or whatever.
Yeah.
Now you zoom that in and then zoom it out and then add in like an image.
Okay, so you
Overlay.
have to zoom
You have
into
to
my
just keep
eyeball
thinking-
and zoom out.
Well, no, I'm just saying like the text overlay, zoom in,
Okay.
or zoom in on that. Or that's definitely a one though. Actually, like even if it's a slight zoom in,
Yeah.
like to break that sort of focus. If it's just you sitting here, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh man.
It's tough. It's a really interesting world out there as far as and I try, and this is my approach to editing those. It's like I just try to add something every video, try to make something a little better on each video. Because when I
Yeah.
first started doing it, like it would just be you sitting here, nothing else.
Sure.
And now I'm adding movement and all this stuff, and
Well, the fact you even do video is more than most podcasts, right?
no, maybe not anymore.
Maybe not anymore.
Yeah.
Well,
But it's all attention grabbing. Like
Yeah.
we're all trying to grab that attention and see what we can do with it. And like, I don't know. I find it a very interesting art form to try to like short form editing. It's
yeah, no, there is something to it, and I get why people are attracted to it. I just, again, I don't know. I love to like curl up with a book, and that's not something that you do for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
For example.
That's true. So as you pivot now to directing, which I think that's your goal, as you alluded
Yeah.
to, when you do something like you edited all of, when did you join Hacks as an editor?
I joined in season 1, and I did edit the pilot.
Oh, nice. Okay. So when you end up directing an episode of that,
Mm-hmm.
are you just constantly like putting that in Paul and
Lucia and Jen.
Lucia and Jen's head, or are you like how does that work? How do you make them aware that you want to direct?
Lucia and I have been working together for a long time. I actually, before Broad City, there was a Comedy Central mini series called Time Traveling Bong that Lucia Agnello, Paul W. Downs, and Alana Glazer made together. And I had just moved to LA. So funny enough, it took moving to LA to work on Broad City.
Oh, what? That's funny. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that.
So they were looking for another LA editor, and my name got dropped to them. And that was a really good experience. And, Lucia was very generous about how she was able to step into directing, like coming from improv and having someone like Amy Poehler vouch for her to direct the pilot of Broad City.
Yeah.
And that really, helped her turn a corner and give her a chance. And a lot of times people just need a chance and they can excel. She's definitely one of those people. It's been really cool to see her career blossom, to see her and Paul get their own show with Jen Statsky. And so it's something, I don't know, we've always just like talked about.
Right.
And so she's known for a long time that my aspirations were to direct. And way back when I was applying to director fellowships, but it was before I had made a short film. And I had been asking for episodes of television again before I made a short film. So then I just decided, a lot of these fellowships just give emerging directors shadowing opportunities. So I'm just going to start asking some people I know if I can shadow them on set.
Yeah.
So I was able to shadow some directors, Jorma Taccone on The Last OG, Nick Jasinovic on Arturo Castro's Alternatino, and I shadowed Lucia on Aquafina's show, Nora from Queens. So I think, too, once that happened, once I made my short, I got into South by Southwest. I think she saw that, it's like you got to do the work, too. Like, you can't just, sit around and, hope something will fall into your lap. It's just not like that anymore. It's so...
Was it at one point?
I think it was 40 years ago, if you were just in the right place in the right time. But now it's just you really have to fight for it, and you really have to advocate for yourself, and you have to back it up with actions.
Well, that's it for sure. I learned early on in this podcast, it's really hard to do, but you have to ask. People are not thinking about you. Jess is not on the forefront of Lucia's mind at all times.
Yeah.
So you have to ask, but it can be really hard. Did you struggle at all asking for stuff, or have you just always been
really hard.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's really hard. It's something I'm not it just doesn't come naturally.
I know. If it does come naturally to you, it's probably not a good thing. I feel like. It's like the sociopaths know how to
totally.
ask for stuff.
Or you're not ready at all.
Yeah. The nice people are over here hi, I don't want to bother you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was a learning curve for you to ask, for sure.
Yeah. But, I think Ava DuVernay was the one who's just out there saying, just ask.
Yeah.
Just ask. And that really, resonated with me.
So was that Sisters, your short film, was that the impetus of that? Was I need to put something out there that I personally directed? Was that the impetus from that? Or did I infer?
I mean, let's see. It was something I wanted to make as a feature, and I still do, for a long time. And a director friend of mine one day just gave me a tough love conversation and was like, don't just sit around and wait for an episode because even if you get it, people are still going to look at you like an editor who got an episode. He's like, you have to make a short. And he's like, and I want you to send me the script in 2 weeks.
Wow.
And that was the conversation.
That's great. Well, I was going to bring that up. It's how do you, when people know you as something, first impressions are hard to shake. And if they know you as an editor, how do you shake that? So that's great advice by this guy.
Yeah. That's John Lee, another director mentor of mine. Yeah, I call it the editor stink. How can I get this editor stink off me?
But I hear you, but I don't think that's just a you thing, though. Or an editor thing. When I first moved here, I wanted to be on set a lot. Why not? And to me, I was like, let me be a PA. But then I did a couple, and I was like, they're just going to see me as a PA. They're not going to see me as talent.
Yeah.
And I pulled away from it because of that. But, I think that happens. I imagine that happens with assistants out here. Assistants that just want to get experience, and then they're always forever in their boss's eye, an assistant type of thing. So. Yeah,
but assistants have a very interesting career path. Some of them are assistant to boss. And it's how? How did you do that?
Well, that's what I'm coming to learn is everybody has an interesting path out here. Editor to director is fascinating to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it all is very unique and different, and it just makes it really fun. When you're directing hacks, though, they approach it where every episode's different, right? It's not, or has Lucia directed a lot of them?
Lucia directs the majority, and Paul directs is essentially the other main director. Okay,
so even more so, my question, how do you come in then and direct an episode of Hacks when it's? I think you did season 4, right? So they already have
season 3.
3. They already have a rapport. They're used to Lucia and Paul. How do you I guess set the tone on that episode, or establish? You're I'm here and I'm meeting, you know what I mean? How do you get?
Yeah, it's hard to win a crew over, if you will. I was lucky in the sense that I'd already had a previous relationship with the DP, Adam Bricker. He was really kind to me. He knew how much I just wanted the episode to be really good and to pull it off. So I think he had a lot of patience with me over asking him things, and I appreciate that. The other person I really had in my corner was their first assistant director, Jeff Rosenberg. He also was directing his first episode that season. So although he wasn't my first assistant on my episode, he kind of gave me the lay of the land in a really good way that I really appreciate. And, I showed up when Lucia was shooting block 1 and my episode was in block 2, just to kind of meet people, see how it's made. Because with COVID, I think had there not been COVID, I at least would have swung in like one day, one time to see how everything is like on the hack set. But because there were so many restrictions, I really couldn't do it until I was about approaching my episode. So I don't know. All I can say is like everyone was so kind to me and welcoming that I really loved. My whole approach to editing and directing is just to make the experience fun. So I think I was able to do a little bit of that even through some really long days. And the thing is like, that's a show where the whole crew loves the show.
Yeah.
They love being there. So it's really a blessing to be in that kind of environment, because if you're on a show where the crew doesn't really believe in the show, it's just hard. It's hard to get people on the same page. It's hard to make them want to make things as good as possible. So yeah, it was an amazing experience. They gave me a really big episode. I still can't believe it. Like how big of an episode they gave me, how many locations we went to, all those sorts of things. So it was like the best experience ever. And I learned so much just from one episode.
Well, that's what I was just going to ask. What you can prep as much as you humanly possible, and you're still going to learn something. Like what stood out on that you weren't expecting, if anything?
It's funny. I think you always expect things to go wrong, but you don't know how.
Unless you're a sociopath.
Yeah. But you don't really know how it's going to happen until it just happens. So I just try to take all the things that go wrong, like losing locations, as like opportunities to make it even better and find something even better. So even though things got really hard and stressful sometimes, like they were just like, it's just kind of the movie magic that happens. I know another thing, like I went to bat to bring the pickleball game inside on my episode. They had already picked out an outside location, but I was really concerned with the fact that we were shooting in January. It was a night game, and I just also didn't want people to get hurt. And when they're cold, it's like when they're cold and freezing, like you're not going to get the best performances. Their bodies aren't going to be able to like maintain the physical activity for as long as we needed it to. And it was like a little bit of the story. Like it was supposed to be like a luxury country club. So I didn't want it just to be like kind of darkness with overhead lights.
Yeah.
So that was something, in the end, when we showed up to the indoor set, like Lucia was like, this looks really good. And I was, and so, everything has to have like their blessing. It is their show. So I shared as much information as possible with them along the way, my shot lists, my approach to scenes. But they also, they were there to have my back when I needed it. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, to your point about taking a chance, my last question I always ask on this is, who took a chance on you? And I think you kind of gave the answer, but
Yeah.
go ahead, speak to
I
it
mean,
again.
it's going to be the hack showrunners. Lucian Yellow, Paul W. Downs, Jennifer Statsky, like, gave me the biggest and best chance possible to really level up my career in a big way.
Yeah,
So,
that's great. Wait, to that point, like, do editors have agents?
some do.
Okay, do you have one?
I did for a while, but I decided not to have an agent a little after moving to LA 10 years ago because I was getting all my own jobs and I decided I wanted to keep that 10% for me
Sure.
and my savings account.
Sure. But now as a director, are you?
Yeah, I
okay.
have a manager
Okay.
at Artists First, and they're really supportive of my TV directing, my film aspirations, my writing aspirations to get some of my own projects off the ground someday.
Yeah. Because like editing, I imagine, well, directing probably to a degree too. It's going to be a lot of, your own procurement of work.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I will say when I was editing indie films, the agents and managers just seem much more helpful to get scripts in front of me. Like those are harder to just obtain by yourself. But once I decided like, hey, I'm going to stay in TV because I think staying in TV is going to be the way I break into directing. It just seemed like I don't fully need it. And
Yeah.
I did want to continue just relationships with the same people.
Yeah.
Which I've done, a really good job at, honestly.
That's awesome. Jess, this is wonderful.
Yeah, it's been great.
Thank you for giving me all this advice. I have a lot to think about as you leave and I go back to the bay.
Yeah, the bay.
The bay right here.
Oh.
And I close the curtain and I go, yes, yes.
But you have a big window. Light is good. People try to convince us light is bad as editors. It's great. You need it. I promise.
So funny. I literally, the other day, I was like, okay, I got to do this. I got to sit down. And it's like a darker scene. So I literally was like, all right, let's go. And I just shut it. And
No, just turn your monitor and your desk. Keep the light going.
It's funny. All right, Jess, this was a pleasure. You got a tail
Thank
slate
you
at the
so
end.
much. All right, Jess Brunetto, take a listen.
That's great.
MTV and the channel.